Hello YouTube. I'll say I'm on my own again with all my mates as ever. So I'll start this live stream and then have a little chat and wonder about, and if anybody joins then I'll step back and restart my chat. That's how it goes. So flick around and show you what I've been up to. So this is, hold on, the camera's a bit dirty, very clean. There we go. So as it stands, I've managed to get up that wall today, and I decided that instead of moving along here, we are going to concentrate on the insides of this, so this is nice and stable. So if we do run out of any materials, timber or nails or anything, then it's stable. I don't have to worry about putting in bits of wood like that and stabilizing it. It'll all be good as it is, because obviously it's going to sit in the winter, and in the winter we don't want anything to go over. So what's show you something. Notice there's something missing from all these, and I've put it in here. That is the studs in the walls. They're all missing. There's here, right along there, all along there, and in there, everywhere. Oh, that's gonna be a window. So the reason they're missing is just that it makes it lighter to lift the wall up into place when I'm on my own or with the wife helping me. So I'd leave out the windows and all the rest of the studding that goes around that, and what have you. So it makes it a lot lighter. So that's what the reason these bits of studs are in this end is that here is where the dividing wall is going to go right across the whole foundation, which will go from there right across to there, and it will connect in right there. So actually a couple more studs got to go in there, put one on the bottom there and one on the top there, so it's nice and secure, and on the other ones as well. That's where the wall's going to connect in. So hello, whoever's, I see some people have joined us. Hello. If you want to write in the bottom who's joining us, where you're from, blah blah blah, so I can interact with you. That would be good. So not all that much done today, but it was been a lot cooler today. It was very, very hot, and I'll try and walk over it without falling off through, hopefully. Got to be careful. So we got a lot more done today. Well, I got a lot more done today because it's cooler. Let me go over there and take a seat. I'll bounce across here. Hold on. Bounce across. There we go. So let me take a seat over here now. Rest the aching bones. Alright, so that's, as you can hope, I think that's a good view from there, is it? I don't know why. If I'll go around the other side and give you a view of what I'm up to. Hold on. So I wonder why I'm getting a fuzz in the top of the screen. Let me take off. I wonder if the phone case is getting in the way. Let me take the phone case off. Has that made any difference? I don't know. What do you think? So anyway, so we got this wall up. I put this wall up here to a segment of this wall, because what I'm doing is each wall I'm cutting into pieces, into frames, so that I can lift them easy. But of course, when you do that, you've got to join them. So if you look in there, there's a joint in the middle. That's where I join them. And same on here. This wall here, I cut into two pieces, and I joined it right there, which meant that I had to put that in afterwards, which meant cutting these two joints by hand, which is not my favourite job. It's not very accurate when you're cutting them by hand. That white sheeting up there is just to try and keep the sun out. It didn't work very well. I'm still getting roasted, but today it's been a bit cloudy, so thank God it's been a bit cooler. This weather this last week has just been terribly hot. It really has been ugly, terrible. So I'll show you, walk around here, show you, explain what's what. This is not a pond, by the way, it's just this grass is growing and I like it, so I left it. That's going to be the doorway, that's the entranceway, so that's what they call tambour. This is going to be a window, and that will be the guest bedroom, if you like, for all the guests who are lining to come here. Coming round here, that's the guest bedroom. That there is not a doorway, that is going to be a window into the toilet. But again, we left out most of it to make it lighter, to lift it into place. This is just the wall of the bathroom. Around this side we've got the back wall of the bathroom and the bathroom window up there, with the diagonal bracing going like this. And then we've got this wall here, which is nothing. It's actually going to be the inside of the walk-in wardrobe, so there's no window going to be in there. It's just a walk-in wardrobe, which will be directly into our main bedroom. So it'll be a storeroom for women's bags and shoes and garbage that women like. So that's what that's going to be. And here we've got the master bedroom, which will be roughly there, between the end of that wall and there. And then in the back here we've got the boiler room and the kitchen over there. So that's my lovely Eva. That's my lovely silver birch, or silver birch in Russian is beryoza. And this is a little berry tree that's growing, and we thought we'd keep it. That's an apple tree. Apparently, the neighbour says there's 5 more apple trees over there behind that topple. But we've yet to climb through that jungle and find them. We'll do eventually. We'll go up onto the foundation here. If you're new to this channel, if you don't know where I am, this is Novgorod Oblast. It's a little town called Starya Russa, which is a very historic town. So this is, so far, a lot of work done. All these joists and floor joists and studs, a lot of work there. Insane. So if you can imagine, this will be the living room actually. That's the window's going to come out there, along there and down there. Well, the wall there, and a big window, big sort of window there will be going right into the south. And then down here, the middle is the central wall, which goes right down the centre of the house. That's going to be very accurate because that is exactly where the apex of the roof is going to go. So you can see the piles. The foundation is right under there, and that obviaska goes right along there into the other side where there's two joints there. Very, very important piece there. I'm filming most of this build. You'll see it on the videos if you watch this channel. Some bits I'm not filming, not showing you many mistakes, of course. Won't want to do that. But everyone makes mistakes, don't they? Human nature. Well, that's it so far. It's looking good. It's better than turning out, better than what I hoped for. Actually, it's the plan is very well made. Although you need to, I keep having to go back to the computer because some of the measurements are very tiny. I'll show you the what a project plan looks like. Now we've got it in this little booklet here, so that it's just easier to handle. We put the piece I'm working on, so this wall here I'm working on at the moment is under this plastic, so I can access it. Inside, then you get the floor plan. That's the plan of the house. Then you get a list of all. I'm not sure if you can see all this. You get a list of all the bits, of course, all in Russian. Obshidany, and then you got Sviny Polya plan, Perikrita, Stena, 1, 2, blah 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 blah. You got all the different, and all the walls are listed there. And then you got a plan of, if you look, they're clever, these plans. I mean, these plans can be slightly different, some of them are easier. there's Svinopolia, Abjaska. So you get a wall like that, and then it shows you where the wall's going to go. That's and where the walls are. And each piece is modelled. You get a 3D model as well. You can see I put little markings on there. You get each wall, truss, the wall. And it shows you where the wall's going to go. This camera looks misty. How's that? Is that any better? And you can see that there's that wall there. It's in there. So you get every detail, every measurement you can think of you see it's got all the measurements across and down this way as well. And each one is listed and each size is listed, not. So you get all that. There's the front window. That's the front window actually. That's what's going to go in the front window. Quite 2 meter high by 1.5 meter wide. And you've got these ones up here as well. So a lot of detail there. You get 3D models of each piece that I haven't printed off because I didn't need them. And it tells you even where the diagonal bracing is going to go. You know exactly where it's going to be, so you can put it in. It's basically so that it's an idiot's guide, if you like, so anybody can follow it. You don't have to be a specialist builder or a super builder with super tools. It's just any ordinary person can follow a simple plan like that. If you can use a tape measure, then you can do this. Simple as that. But yeah. So that's where we're at so far. There's a camera that's videoing for the videos. Keep moving that around. I've got a nice new tripod. But that's it so far. If nobody's going to ask any questions, I can't see anything else in there, then I think probably I will close this live stream down in about 9 minutes, 8 minutes or so, when we get to past. There's no point in having a live stream. Nobody's on. Talking to myself's okay. I get some sense, but it's lonely. So that's the house build that I'm doing anyway. Quite a lot of work to do on my own. You know, this has taken. This is now day 14. We're on now of putting these walls up, and so it's taken 14 to 2 weeks exactly. So I'm counting the days to put all these studs in, all the studs in, all the floor joists, and all the walls. So quite a lot of work for 2 weeks on your own. But the floor was the worst part of all, because you're jumping in and out the foundation. Each piece, I can't show you, but each piece of timber can vary. I'll show you the differences. And this is a problem you struggle with all the time. I'll see if I can show you with a decent ruler here. There's a decent ruler, decent rule. So if you look over here, we're getting what we're getting. We're getting 4.7 centimeters, and then on this one you get in 5 centimeters. And over here we're getting 4.6 centimeters. So you can see there's variations in the timber. Because of the variations you get in the whole time. 5 there. Because of that, each piece has to be cut individually. There is no way around it. There's nothing you can do. Over here we're getting what we're getting over here. We've got 4.7 there. So between 4.7 and 5, some are actually bigger. You get like almost 6 centimeters sometimes. What we got here, 4.8. So a little bit difference is almost 4.5, is it? 4.6, 4.7. So you can see that's the differences in timber you get. So you know, on YouTube videos you see, and they've got and they've made a frame up and they're just chucking the pieces in. And it's all handy, hunky dory, and they chuck them in, and it's really fast. And they cut like 10 pieces, and then put 10 pieces in, and then they cut all the studs, and they put, and you see them in, and they've got it up in 2 minutes. The reality is quite different. That's okay if you're getting sort of kiln dried, treated timber, But if you leave it out in the open, then it's going to absorb moisture, and it's going to change. Hello, Foggy Bottom. Foggy Bottom, is that Anne? I think. No, that's Tatiana, right? That's Tatiana. Hello, Tat. So yeah, each piece can be different, and because of that, you're having to measure each piece individually. It takes a lot of time. Nothing's identical, Then of course there's warped timber and bent timber, and all the list goes on. It's very building here in Russia is very, very different to building in the West, where everything's kind of standard. You buy timber and it's all been treated, and it's all there's no knots in it, and it's all dried in a kiln and all the rest of it. In Russia, it's very much different. It's very much air dried mainly, and then sprayed afterwards. None of this is treated. It arrives not treated. So if you're getting timber over it, you can get it treated. I mean, I've seen it arrive on sites, and it's literally wrapped up in plastic, and it's perfect timber. But by golly, you pay for it. The price of class 1 timber or Period sort is around about 20,000 rubles at the moment, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less, around about 20. And if you want sort of dipped stuff, pressure treated, planed up material, you can go as high as 60,000 rubles or even 80,000 rubles for 1 cubic meter. It's crazy prices. So very few people use it. They all use this kind of material. This ain't bad actually. This is like first sort, but with there's an awful lot of eyes and things in the timber, which is kind of, it's not really a big problem, but it's annoying that you keep coming up with, like, there's one there, look. See, they fall out. There's one. Unfortunately, you cut the timber on one side and you don't see it, and then suddenly, oh my god, there's a hole in the timber. Not going to make a big difference in the. I can see one there. I'm not showing you, but there I can see another one. Doesn't make a lot of difference to the strength of the timber, but it means you've got to go around with a bit of filler or something and fill them up afterwards, just to make sure there's no holes in your timber. Otherwise, you can get air gaps. Something to show you on. If you've got an tat, you've got a house made of logs. And I'll show you, if you get drafts, this is where it comes from. When they put the timbers together, you're supposed to use this stuff. It's like jutovy uteplitel. I think it's flax or something like that. Between each timber, you should have this in. Each one, like there's three timbers here, like 4. Each one should have some of that in between it. I'm using 15 centimetre wide. Let's see here somewhere. There it is. I'll show you it. And this is the stuff that goes in between each piece, especially on the older type log cabin type things. This bit away, fell off. So this is the stuff jutovy, and it's very cheap. It's about 500 rubles for 25 meters of 150 millimeter wide stuff, and that's all you need. It withstands any temperature. There's no temperature degrees, just thicknesses. That's 5 mil, I think it is, and it's dirt cheap. Of course, people throw up frame houses these days, and they don't put it in. They knock the walls together, and they don't put this insulation in, and then the owners are there wondering why there's drafts all around the house. Well, that's why, because they've not got it in. But it's time consuming, isn't it? That's if you get a cheap brigade of people to build your house, and all they're interested in is getting the money and get it done as quickly as possible, so they're not going to bother pouring that in if they can get away with it. As soon as your back's turned, that wall's up, and that's it. You're not going to see it unless you're there 24 hours a day watching every move. So that's you know, cheap building. You know, I'm doing it myself, so I've got the time to do it. I can put each piece in. I can verify it. You know, if I make a mistake, I can go back and rectify it. You know, there's no problem for me. And there is mistakes. Of course, there's mistakes. There's quite a number of mistakes. I'm not showing you where, but there's plenty of mistakes. That's human nature, in it. You know, make mistakes. But if you do make a mistake, you can rectify it yourself. If builders make a mistake, they'll hide it. That's that damn motorbike every night up and down here on the main road. So the main road just beyond this here, and it's two teenagers, and they go up and down for about half an hour. Here comes the other one, slowly past. They cut the exhausts off wherever they were to make them louder. Yeah, two. Same kids every day, every night. That's it, they've gone. Then they'll be back again in about half an hour, go the other way. Damn annoying. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, that's the difference between, you know, if you do it yourself, you got the quality. If you make a mistake, you can very quickly go back and check it. Shit, I made a mistake. Go back and check it, alter it, fix it. Whereas cheap builders will make a mistake, they'll cover it up. If there's a mistake in the wall, they'll just cover it up with the siding or the final finish, and you'll never know until it's too late. Till it starts wind howling through your windows and stuff. Or your windows won't open, glasses cracked, stuff like that, you know. So getting cheap builders is okay, but beware. Or if you're going to get cheap builders, you need to be on site. That's the other option. On site and watching it. Do it yourself. Make a mistake, fix it yourself, and you know, no problems. So, but anyway, what time are we on now? We're on 21, 37, 21 minutes we've been running. Or 37 minutes we've been running. Is it? I don't know. But anyway, that's the progress so far. The leaves are starting to go. Yeah, I don't know how they are over you, Tatiana. I don't know if your leaves are starting to yellow, but we're starting to get yellow leaves now and starting to fall slowly. You see the whole. It's really nice actually. It's because it's dry weather. I'll show you this. Because it's dry weather, the leaves are dropping, and it's really crunchy under your feet. It's really nice. It's the small things that give me pleasure these days. But it's really nice here. Look, like a carpet of leaves. Really nice. This is all mine. It's not such a big plot. It's only 15 sottok. But you can see that's the corner of my one there with that white thing sticking in. So you can see that's where the house is going to be. That's my topple. Eva, there's a video, and they're all mine. Down the back there is mine. So quite a good 15 sottok is quite a good size. Originally I wanted that house this way, facing that way, and because of these two trees here that I really didn't want to cut down at all, we changed it and we moved the house to that side, so we didn't hit the trees. Incidentally, if you're having pile foundations put in, really at a minimum you want to be 3 meters away from any tree. 3 meters, and if your pile does hit a root, it'll go straight through it. It'll just bash its way through. Won't cause any problems through. So you can see I've got like enough room there. Where if it's very close, like right next to it, then the roots are going to cause damage. Piles might even move. So about that distance you want from any big trees anyway. At the back here we've got the same thing. These aren't so big here, but again, the distance between the nearest tree there is just about 3 meters. So that's the minimum you kind of want, 3 meters. Ideally, I'd have brought the house this way, but we tried every single variation. We moved it around, tried it diagonally across the ground, Originally I thought about putting it here. It was too close to there. What a nightmare. Well, that's where we settled on anyway. So we didn't have to cut the trees down. So, oh, forget them. Oh, yours are falling. Good day, Aussie Spy. How are you? Yours are foggy bottom. Oh, yeah, yours are falling as well. It's great, isn't it? A bit of wind and all the leaves come down. It's really nice. But, yeah. For those who don't know, who haven't pointed it out, unfortunately we have the remnants of World War II here. So we've got one bunker just there, just beyond that gas pipe there. Another bunker here beside this house here, and there's another one over the back there we discovered. Then there's 2 more in the field across there, and then 2 over in that field there. So like 4, 5, 6, 7 German bunkers here. Of course, none of them are restored. A lot of them they've ripped out already. So but that's the sort of that one over there is kind of the one that's the most complete. I've not been in it. I did get close to it, but when Jason was online, I was talking to Jason. I showed him the bunker, but I couldn't get too close. It's just overgrown. And behind here, there's another German trench runs down that way. It sort of runs from over there somewhere down here. And I guess it was a second line behind the trench that we had running. Our trench ran. I'll show you where our trench ran, for interest's sake. It isn't actually a trench. It was actually an embankment, a berm. They built anti-tank ditch, if you like, that they built here, and it was running somewhere here. Tail end of it's here somewhere down there. I think that's the tail end of it there, kind of around here, about like that, the sort of diagonally across right through the middle of my foundation. So if you fell off of a tip then. So if you went down here, what's that say? Don't cut many trees down or you'll get a visit from Greta Thunberg. How dare you? How dare you? Greta. Grizzly Greta. So yeah, anyway, the trench ran down here, across it, cut through there somewhere. And I was worried about these last parts. I thought I'm going to be right on the centre of the bloody of the trench, but in fact there was no problems. And you can see it ran out. You see the ground's a bit higher here where they built it up, and that is sun's belting in there. Sunset. That's where the embankment was, the end of it. So it came right down here, and then over there into the corner, across the whole land. That's gone now. It's lovely. It's a great view from here actually. Now the sun's behind me. It's going down. Let's see if I can get a better view of what we've done so far. There we go. How's that? How's that? There's me diagonal bracing going up there. The back one's going to be like a W shape. Diagonal bracing. Each wall has to have diagonal bracing in. Every piece has to have diagonal bracing in. Especially if it's a 2-story. There is something I've left out here. On the top there should be a header bracing, and I've left it out. And the reason is because, one, it's economising the wood, timber, and 2, it's not needed. There's a single story. There is nothing going on top. There's going to be what they call a verchnia piaska, which is so there'll be 150 millimeters up there on top. So there really is no need for the header. So I left it out, and it makes it light to lift the walls as well. So that's why that's missing. But yeah, that's it so far. Nara, finally good content on this platform. If this is good, you ain't seen the bad. Me showing you my foundation. My foundation, my house. It's I'm glad you enjoy it. Let me sit down here. My pile of wood. Oh. So yeah, that's what we got up today. And there's the back walls, and that's this. You can see if you look down here, look, that's dead straight. It's actually surprising, following the plan. If you follow the plan to the letter, it's surprising. It all fits together. Every time I measure something, and it actually adds up. I'm like, "Ooh, that's a surprise!" And it's like, really, because I'm not a professional builder at all. I've done a lot, a million pile foundations. That's my job, bloody super master at that. I've never. I built my own house in St. Petersburg, the first one, but it was from my head. It wasn't. I didn't follow a plan or anything. So, consequently, I made a lot of mistakes there. I overbuilt a lot, put way too much timber in. Just unnecessary work. With this one, I'm following a proper plan. At the time when I built the first house, it was started that 15 years ago, and it's still not finished. Still some work to do there. It's mad impressive. I don't think it's impressive. I think it's just literally following a plan. It's honestly, a child could do it. If you can read a tape measure, if you can follow simple instructions, it doesn't matter what language it's in. It doesn't matter, because the numbers are the same, aren't they? It really isn't that difficult to follow a plan. If you follow it exactly. If you check your diagonals. Yeah, I picked up some experience in my time. Of course I have. And I used to work, before I did, well, actually, at the same time I was doing piles, we had very little work at the time. There wasn't many foundations going at that time. We did one a week, one a fortnight. And so in between that, I worked for the same boss, and we did electrical installations in houses. So because of that, I got to see how these places are built, and what, how the electrics go in and whatever. Yeah. So that's where I picked up my experience, really, on housing. I'm doing foundations. There's nearly always there's a house next door that's being built, so you always need something. You can go and have a chat to the builders there and see what they're doing. So it's like Legos or something. It really is like Legos, yeah. It really is. You're following a plan. Each piece of timber that goes in, there's a measurement for it, and where it goes. So it's 600 from that end to there, and it's 255 high. So you put it in exactly there. Put it in. The only things, one of the biggest thing I picked up from doing foundations was diagonal measurements. Really, really important. This morning I checked. I'll show you. What I did this morning, just out of interest, really. I knew it was accurate, but I did it out of interest, for my own sort of satisfaction. I put a screw in there, and a screw in the corner there, and another one in that corner there, and then I've got two metal tape measures here, these two here, and measured between where the diagonal measurement between that corner and where this wall begins, this way on, and on the same way there where this wall is marked where that stud is there, and they should match up, right? And they do. They're like within a centimetre or something of the diagonal. A centimetre of on that side of the house is nothing. You can't even, you never find it. You know what I mean? So it's it really is simple. If you check that's one thing I picked up on from experience working on foundations, was the diagonal measurements. It really, really important. Before I raise each wall, I check the diagonal. I don't have to calculate it. Just check that it's same in both corners, and that's it. If they match, you've got a square. Simple as that. What's with the stick frame? Should be made of logs. Stick frames and logs. I have no experience with logs. That's the first problem. Second problem is with logs, they're not of the quality that they once were. People buy logs, they're pre-made, pre-cut, because nobody's got the skills to hand cut logs these days. They're all pre-made. Because they're pre-made, they tend to be cheap material, and cheap material, it splits. So you look at log houses now, that not the older ones, of course, they were gorgeous, but the newer ones, you look at the logs now, they're all split. Why? Because it's not dried timber properly. They've not got the quality these days. And consequently, what you see is with newer log houses, you see them covered in bloody expanding foam, trying to fix the gaps, you know. So you tell me which is better. For me, frame housing much better. I can do it myself. I could not build a log house myself. The weight of it would be just too much. There's no way on the god of this earth you would be able to do it. So, what's that? Doesn't want to visit from Thunberg. How dare you? How dare you? Yeah, yeah. Log houses, okay, they were great. Now not, I would say. And also the thing with log houses, you need a hell of a foundation for them. To put them on piles, I've seen them done on piles, by the way, but you need like twice the amount of piles, so your foundation just turned double the price. So. If a log wall rots at the bottom, how do you fix that? You've got to raise the whole building on a lot of car jacks, and then remove the bottom piece. And you see it time and time. Look on YouTube about rotten bases of log houses. Look at it in Russian, and you'll see how difficult it is and expensive and time consuming. And they do rot out. Simple as that. These don't. These, you know. If you do these right, they won't rot out. There's a few things you can do. Something I changed on this foundation, I'll show you here. Hold on. If I can shift this. Hold on. So on the original plan, this toply contour was back that way, 5 centimeters, and these joists were supposed to sit on that. Well, guess what? If the snow lands on here, then melts, where's all the water going to go? It's going to follow your joists into your house. The way to get around that is to cut them and put in joist hangers. So I move that 5 centimeters this way and put in joist hangers. Job done. And the same, I'll walk across the area, and I know this from personal experience about not using joist hangers. The same here. See, I've got joist hangers all the way along. Well, 3 of them. They're actually butted up. Something else through experience of living in Russia, you get to know these things and what you can and can't do. So, what's that? Doesn't want to make from Thunberg. So yeah, that's you see how on the bottom here. I'll show you here. You see how here they sit on the obvязка. The joists sit on the obvязка. Inside the house, great. But on the outside, with the balconies, you certainly don't want that. Use the joist hangers. Something you'll learn. But that's all in the videos I'm creating. I'm telling you all about these things. There's no secrets here, other than my mistakes, which I'm keeping secret. I'm not telling you. I can see one big mistake from here, but I ain't telling you a lot. True about modern log. I see new binders all the time splitting after around 6 months. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely true. They do split, and then what they do? You got to fill it with spray foam. And I'll tell you what they do. They put what they call a reiki on the outside, and then they put bloody siding on it to cover it up. So you spent the money getting all these logs done, and then you cover it up with siding. Oh, hello. You know. It's quality is not what it was. You know, when log houses were built in the Soviet era. I mean, you look at. I mean, there's some in this town here. This is basically a wooden town, if you like. Majority of it, all the housing is wooden. Apart from there's a few blocks of flats, but not many. And most of them are over 100 years old, and they're fine. They haven't, you know. They haven't fallen down. They're perfectly usable. Some of the bottom beams are out, and they're replaced. But you know that was Soviet quality, wasn't it? We haven't got that here now. Forget it. I don't know. I've never met, and I've done a lot of foundations over the last 5 or 6 years. I mean, constantly doing foundations, and I've worked on a lot of them, and I've not yet ever seen a log house being built manually where they're cutting the actual logs. Not once. The only place you'll see that is on YouTube. They're all pre-cut, all of them, and they all arrive on a lorry, and they're all unloaded, and they all put in. So that about where you see people and they're cutting these things. Yeah, okay, it's done for YouTube purposes only. Reality, quite different. A bit like these frame housing, you see them, they chuck them up and whatever. And reality is, if you want quality housing, you don't want to be sitting at night time, then you've got to spend the time and put the insulation in properly, and take that extra time. And this is kind of why I wanted to build it myself this time. I didn't want any builders in. If I'd have had the money to get builders, it would have been a top quality firm to do it, and I'd have been here on site 24 hours. If you're having a house built in Russia, that is what to do. You must be on site and watch every move. Because if there's a mistake, like I said earlier, if you make a mistake yourself, you can fix it yourself. You can say, "Oh shit, I've done that mistake there. I've cut that wrong, or put that in the wrong place." Happens. I did one yesterday. I put the where was it? Down here on the floor joist. I put them all 5 centimeters in the wrong place, so I had to take a whole row out and put them back in again 5 centimeters. They're actually sitting diagonally. I was like, "What the hell?" So I measured from one side, one end from one side, and the other side I measured 5 centimeters the other way. So that's life. But I took them out and redid it. If that had been cheaper built, they'd have left it as it was, And they would cut the insulation at an angle instead, rather than changing the joist. But because I do it myself, I changed it, But anyway, I think we should call this a quits. I don't see there's much more I can tell you. There's my old van there. By the way, it's an old Sobble, gas Sobble. Diesel muncher. Sounds like a T-34 on steroids. Anyway, okay. Thank you for joining me. It's been I'll turn around here. Hold on. Thank you for joining me. It's been a nice live stream. Thank you for interacting. Chris Malk, I'm late, busy building my own house. Yeah, I know you are. You're doing a good job there, Chris. I don't have to watch videos of log houses with rotten bottom logs. I own one. Well, there you go. You've said it yourself, haven't you? What can I say? I can't. Happens, done it. It's not the end of the world. They can be fixed. Lots of car jacks and some effort, and you can replace them. Can be done. But that's the beauty of these frame housing. That's why it's very popular, because it's cheap, easy to fix, and you can do it yourself. I'm doing it a little bit. I'm cheating a little bit, because if this was a brigade of 3, the back wall would be one big piece. It would be on the ground, then 3 people would just lift it bang into place. But because I'm on my own, wife's helping me, to lift them, but she can't do this heavy work. So I'm cutting the frame down to 3 meter pieces, basically 3 or 4 meter pieces, and lifting them in. And that's so it's kind of cheating a little bit, but it's how it's what do you call it? Adapting to it. Adapt and overcome. Okay, thank you for joining me anyway. You will catch the videos on the channel. I am releasing them as I make them. I've got the computer with me this time, but the internet here is somewhat desperate at the moment. There is, I believe, something close to here of something that's interfering with the internet, and we keep getting it's abysmal internet at the moment. So uploading a gigabyte video is difficult, let's say. We'll get Thunberg to come on the next one. I bet you can't. She's on that flotilla. She's probably been sunk by now. Set up a pulley block system for lifting the frames. I have got a manual thing with me. I did have that idea, but I decided it's just easier to split the frames into 3 pieces. All it means is that I'll show you, Chris, actually, because you're late, Chris, as ever. So I'll show you specially before I cut this off. So if you split the frames into 3 pieces, so I've got this frame here and this frame here. All I've done is split it and put an extra piece up, or I don't know what that is in English. I don't know what these are. What are these in English? Upor in Russian. So that's where I put extra in it, and same here. So I stuck an extra, split it there in a convenient place, and put a piece in, and same over here. Split it like my sunshade. Split the wall and put 2 pieces in, but with insulation, obviously. Important to get the old insulation in there. So that's the way I done it. But I do have a manual. What do you call? What's that in English? Librotka. Winch. I did think about it, connecting it to one of the trees and just lifting them up. I was kind of planning. I thought, nah, I might as well just cut them into 3s, cut them into 3 meter segments, and just stick them up. Same thing. If anything, okay, I'll shut up now. No, I have got a winch with me. I did think about that very idea. But I don't know. I just didn't do it. Easier to put them into 3 meter pieces, but anyway, that's how it. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you all those from Telegram, Tatiana, Chris, and Jason. Thank you for joining me. Another good live stream, actually. These live streams are getting better, I think. So thank you for joining me, and we'll call it quits now when I find out how to switch this off. Okay, see you later.